So today I'd like to start a video here with you guys. I'd like to share a little bit of a story behind my background. So these past couple years, my business has really boomed. My tax preparation business that I've been doing tax preparation for the last 20 years or so. And ever since 2011, I became an IRS enrolled agent, and I have been helping a lot of people dealing with the IRS, the state, and other agencies to be able to resolve their tax issues. But one thing that I have noticed these past couple years, ever since 2020, is the enforcement side when it comes to the government. The IRS in general, they have very limited resources. I have represented less and less people over the last couple years. In regards to IRS audits, they have definitely decreased overall. A lot of my clients in general, they're very good taxpayers. But I do have some people that I feel like sometimes the information that they provide me, I feel like it's not 100% audit proof. But at the same time, like I said, the IRS is not really auditing people that much anymore. It's more the state of California. I currently prepare taxes for people in the state of California. And the state of California and other states surrounding, I feel like, have a better procedure when it comes to auditing people. And those are the states that are very, very knowledgeable when it comes to tax law. A lot of states around the United States don't conform to federal tax laws. And so we are having issues sometimes dealing with the state of California and making sure that people are compliant. And another thing that I have to worry about as well is making sure that my clients understand what's being reported on the tax returns, because a lot of the times what ends up happening is you get a lot of these people that they hire tax professionals, but the tax professional doesn't educate the taxpayer correctly on what needs to be reported and the tax laws. There's a lot of misinformation online. And so you get a lot of people, so a lot of influencers online that give really bad tax advice. And then all of a sudden, my clients come to me and they want to impose what they saw on social media. They want to oppose it so that I can go ahead and prepare their return that way. But I have to remind people too that I am not going to put my license on the line just so they can make a quick buck. So, but yeah, after 2020, I have seen a decrease in audits from the IRS, very limited resources. So I am well aware of the fact that the new administration that we have right now is trying to cut the fat, trying to make sure that whoever is in charge of the IRS can have enough resources to be able to go after people who are really cheating the system. And there's a very good chance that in the next several years there's going to be a big overhaul, whether it be the IRS still existing or whether it be more auditors targeting people that are not supposed to be claiming these certain credits. They're going to be probably they're more than likely there's going to be a lot of tax loopholes that are going to be non-existent. One of the biggest advantages that most taxpayers can actually take advantage of, especially ones that have small businesses, would be to become an S corporation or an LLC. So that's one of the things that a lot of people have been doing lately. If they do it right, they can definitely save a lot of money in taxes and at the same time be compliant. But the thing is a lot of people, they don't have the discipline to structure their S corporation correctly and making sure that they don't pierce the corporate veil. Yeah, that's just my observation. And then when it comes to people in general, I feel like underreporting has become less common. because now everything is reported using PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, and more people are opting to pay small businesses digitally now. It's not like before where there was a lot of cash transactions. I feel like as time has gone on, less and less cash transactions are taking place. And so more people are forced to report most of their income. It's getting harder for people to hide income. The only people who I feel have the most advantage right now to be able to get away with that would be people who are in the service industry that receive tips. And so right now, this new administration, they want to go ahead and implement no taxes on tips, which I do think that there's going to be a lot of people that say that that's very unfair, because there's a lot of people that are not reporting their cash tips, and the ones who are reporting their tips, I've seen W-2s from clients where probably 60%, maybe even more than 60% of their total income is tips, that work in the restaurant industry, whether they're servers or they work for some sort of hotel, and maybe that's the majority of their income. And so I feel like that's very unfair to the people who are working hard that don't receive that much tip. Yeah, that's one of the things that I have noticed. It's very, we're going to have a lot of controversy. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for this administration to implement something like that. I think there's going to be a lot of pushback. And then there's also the other possible thing that might end up happening, which would be no tax on Social Security income, which that one, I do think I have a lot of clients that do receive a lot of Social Security benefits, and they have other sources of income. So I think that's going to be very good for people that are receiving Social Security. That's going to help them out a lot. It's going to put a lot more money in their pocketbook for them to be able to stimulate the economy. So, but again, the Social Security Administration, they have warned, the government has warned that more than likely the Social Security benefits, they're going to start dwindling over the next decade. And most people who are receiving Social Security benefits, they're going to be receiving less and less of those, probably not the full amount they're entitled to. And people nowadays, they're required to pay a lot of money into Social Security. And like I said, right now, I think we have a record amount of people that are actually reporting more income. I've seen people over the years that I feel like if you would have put them in the same situation 20 years ago, they would have definitely been hiding a lot more income from the government if the majority of their payments were paid in cash. But because more people are getting paid digitally, now they're forced to report all the income. And so that's making it harder for people to be able to save money, because now they have to pay more in taxes. And so it's just, it's good for the government, but at the same time, we have to make sure that the government controls its wasteful spending. And that's why it's good that we have someone that's overseeing this new entity called Doge. I think that they're going to do great things for the government. And so far from what I'm seeing is they're slowing down the amount of wasteful spending on a daily basis. But we have to do more than that. We have to get to a point where not only are we slowing it down, but we're reversing this trend of continuing to increase our national debt, because it's getting out of control. And just the interest itself is just insane. How much interest has to be paid. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell whether this new administration can do the job. I know that in the past there's been a lot of promises from previous presidents and administrations. And I do remember the Obama administration. They definitely did change a lot of things. And we went through a lot of turbulent times. Sometimes we run into situations in life where it's not enough. What the president does is not enough. It's sometimes you'll see the results of something that the administration has done. You'll see those results maybe until the next administration's in office. This year in particular, I've seen a lot more people that have come to my office that are desperate for money. So the last 2-3 years or so, even though the refunds were pretty decent for the people who do claim earned income credit and child tax credit, I feel like the people, they weren't as desperate to receive the refunds immediately. And this year, I've noticed that a lot of my clients are insinuating that they want the money as fast as possible because they're behind on something, whether it be a payment for credit cards or their mortgage payment or their rent, or maybe they have something that they need to pay, maybe a payday loan or some other sort of debt that they owe. The clock is ticking, and so everybody wants their money fast. But it's hard for me to make a guarantee as to when that refund will hit their bank account, because it's not up to me how fast they get the refund. It's up to the government and up to the state of California or the IRS or whatever state is going to be issuing that refund. And that's because all of that money, all of that liquidity that we had these last couple of years, I think it's finally come to a complete end. And I even had a person ask me this past week, they asked me about the SBA and whether or not they were still giving out disaster loans. Yeah, it's getting desperate out there, desperate times. And but again, people are willing to do anything when they run into these situations where they have nowhere to turn. People are willing to do anything for money right now. So people are going to start getting desperate. They're going to have to get to a point where they're going to have to make sacrifices so that they can make ends meet. And so that's just a part of life. You know, that happens anywhere. Let's continue to support everything that resonates well with the United States. Let's continue to support our government. I know there's a lot of people out there that probably don't want this administration to succeed, but I do think that we have to unite, whether or not you're in the right or the left. The U.S. fails, then we all fail, right? I know these last 4 years before this new administration took place, I talked to a lot of my clients who were leaning towards the right, and they supported the government. Maybe they didn't like how the president definitely did not pay attention to a lot of detail because he was not all there. They still supported the U.S. in general because they didn't want the U.S. to fail. And so that's why I do think that we should unite as a nation. But that's going to require a lot of group effort. So I just wanted to make this video today. Just kind of voicing out things that I had in my mind. And I'm going to continue to provide you guys good content that I think will make you guys a better person. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.